So when someone who has been showing up in your life as avoidant leaves, and I just want to point out that I'm saying someone who has been showing up in your life as avoidant, not someone who is avoidant, because there's a difference. We're either labeling someone and boxing them into a category and meaning that this is how we see them, so everything they do, we're going to see them through the lens of, oh my God, they're avoidant, which kind of traps them there. Or we're saying someone at this point in their life and my life is showing up as avoidant. Okay, there's a difference. And one allows flexibility and freedom, and the other one boxes someone in. So just be careful with your language about how you're defining other people and yourself. Because I have so many clients as well who say, I'm anxious, I'm an anxious attachment. That's not you. That's just what you're doing at the moment. That's the current narrative, but it isn't who you are. Okay? So just wanted to make that distinction. So when someone who has been showing up in your life as avoidant leaves, it's really tempting to go on the internet and research everything about the avoidant. It's really tempting to read all the books and to get all the knowledge to try to make sense of what happened and try to understand this person. So there are two things that can go wrong with this. The first thing is that you start thinking, oh my God, I didn't realise they're avoidant and they didn't know. And now I can see all the things and all the reasons why I actually pushed them away. Now I think it's my fault. And you go over all of the circumstances, all of the moments where they were clearly shut down, they were retreating, and you were pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to get connection because you were unaware, or maybe you were aware, of your own attachment and pattern of behaviour. And you think, oh, if only they'd just come back and then I can show them that I can actually be a safer place for them. And you think of all the reasons why actually now it could work. So I want to say two things. The first thing is that how willing are you to go through the process of not pushing someone to evolve and change and being with them while they're unwilling to change or unaware that they need to, okay? Because being unaware and not even being willing to look at these things is a very hard place to have a relationship with someone with, right? And there are people who are in a relationship with someone who they know is avoidant and they have shown them this stuff and said, look, we can heal, we can do this and you can do this and maybe you can look at this book or maybe you can read this article, look at this video, look at this short on the internet. And you start thinking of all these things that you can show them and it pushes them even more. They don't want to see it. They literally very often are completely uninterested in this kind of world until they need to be, until there's an actual consequence in their life that makes them reflect on who they are and what they're doing and how they're showing up in the world and why did this happen again. And maybe the common denominator is actually me. And sometimes they need life experience and consequences in order for them to get to that place. And being presented with it by a kind, loving person who wants the best for them doesn't feel like much of a consequence, does it, to them? Now, some people might be interested in this, but a lot of people who are avoidant are not. And so even if you had known all of this stuff, and even if you had actually, sat there and just actually not gone towards them and not tried to talk about your emotions and not pushed for it, then what about you? What about your feelings? What about your needs? What about the communication that you need in order for you to heal? Because that doesn't work for you. Honestly, I promise I tried it. I know so many people who have tried it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work pushing them. It doesn't work trying to make it clear to them. It doesn't work being patient with them, because doing that means that you have to abandon yourself. And that's where we get even more into a mess. And that's where you get depressed. So I'm telling you, neither of those things work. And the other problem with this is that when you're focusing and analysing them and thinking, oh, they're avoidant, so that's why they did this, and I can see because their mum or their dad treated them like this, and they're really shut down, and you really care about them, and you're thinking about all the things about them. This actually is an avoidance of you doing the work on you, because it's not just them, right? There's two people in this dynamic, and you played a part, and all you can do is work on your side of the street. Now, the thing that very often happens is that when you actually do work on your side of the street and you do the healing work and you learn to actually show up differently in your relationships, and you stop identifying with the anxious attachment, for example, or whatever attachment it is that you've identified yourself as, you stop identifying as that and you show up differently through, supportive work, collaboration work, community work, whatever it is that feels comfortable for you, then your energy changes. And when the person who's been avoidant sees that, they can get really curious about it. It can make them think, oh, what's happened now? They're that kind of needy. Not that it's needy, you just had needs. Energy has changed. It's lessened. They seem to be getting on with their life. They seem okay. They kind of then have the possibility to idealize you again as the version or the person that they needed. But still, even then, it takes two. It takes two to make a relationship work. But very often when you do work on your side of the street, that can inspire someone else to look at themselves too. Okay? Because there are good things about all of these relationships that I hear people talking about. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been in them. The connection was real. There's something there that's there to help you both. And there might be a really special bond that you've both had. And that hasn't gone away, by the way. But it has activated parts of you and this person that need to be acknowledged and loved, not got rid of. That's one of the misconceptions I think about healing, is that I've got to get rid of this part of me, get rid of the anxiety. Actually, you need to love that part of you. I saw a quote, and I really don't know who it's by, but someone said something like, a childhood trauma or a trauma should become a cherished trauma. So we should, rather than, fear these traumatic things and this way of being and the way that we've learned to be, we should learn to cherish it so that we can come at it and come at life from a whole different way. So, yeah, I just wanted to do this video to say, if you've been researching, I mean, it's good information, isn't it? It's amazing. It gives you so much insight into the human dynamic and the way that people operate and think and how we can become. But boxing someone in keeps them there, and it keeps you there. And boxing yourself in also keeps you there. So it's like, just come at this whole situation from a decision that you're actually going to heal. Not by some long drawn out process, but by just changing the narrative, putting yourself in situations with people who are healthy, who can have good communication, who can model healthy conflict. You're literally looking to embody a different way of being. So if you would like any help with this, I have got 6 spaces left on my amazing Conscious Creators Masters Academy, which is a 12-week program where you get 24 sessions over those 12 weeks. And it's a real deep dive into looking at your side of the street, which is that transformational, inspirational work that you can do that doesn't just transform you, but it actually has a ripple effect on everyone around you. So if you would like to grab one of those spaces, there's only 12 spaces on the whole program. So it's a small group. It's not one of these big group coaching things. It's small, intimate, deliberately, because I find that is where people get the most growth, and the group becomes really close, and yeah, it's amazing. So if you'd like any more information about that, send me an email. We can do a 30-minute free discovery call where you can ask me any questions about that, and we can find out if this program is right for you at this current time. And if not, then thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.